there's been some great coaching across the league this season, and with less than a month now till the playoffs. Who are you guys looking at as the coach of the year? Because there's a whole bunch of names that we could have.
Right.
Obviously, the OKC
Hmm.
Thunder and the Cavs have been the runaway leaders in the regular season, but then you've got the improvement of the Pistons. You of course got the Houston Rockets, who are still the second seed over in the West. Who are you guys looking at as the standout coach this season?
Let me start off by saying I've got to go back to my hometown and I got to give it to JB Bickerstaff to come into a team who was the worst, had the worst record in the NBA last season, and now to be solidly in the playoffs in the sixth position in the Eastern Conference, a team that looks like it could win a series in the playoffs this year, the way he has them playing. And I know that they added Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley, who's having a career season this year in Detroit. But pretty much everybody's back. Obviously, we know Cade Cunningham has taken a huge step forward this year and shown why he's going to be one of the stars in this league for years to come. But that is hard to do, what he has done this year, to go into an atmosphere where losing was really pervasive in the building for the last few years. Not just last season when they were the worst, but they were, ever since Cade and those guys have been there, they had not won. And to make this big a jump, to me, I've got to go to JB Bickerstaff because the energy he's brought to the group, the confidence he's given these guys, you can tell there's an accountability there that he's holding guys to, which is important in coaching. And I think there's a relatability there too as well that those younger players were needing and longing for, and he's brought that to that group. So, again, there's nothing against the other candidates because you bring up Ime Udoka, terrific job taking a team that wasn't in the playoffs last year, and now they're the number 2 seed over in the West. But they were showing signs a year ago. I mean, from the time he's got there, they've been on an upward trajectory. So, if he were to win the award, I would not be upset at that because he's done a terrific job. And then, Cleveland's made a big jump. Kenny Atkinson would be in the conversation for me because, to put together the kind of season they have this year and have had 2 15-game win streaks in the season like this, you can't ignore that. So those probably would be my top 3 candidates this year. But I'm going to lead. I'm going to give the edge right now to JB Bickerstaff in Detroit.
What about you, Mr. Armstrong?
Well, traditionally, I always respect and I value Winnie. So Kenny Atkinson would traditionally in my way of thinking would probably I would have said would be my coach of the year. However, I cannot forget that the Detroit Pistons were on a 28-game losing streak just a year ago. And the difficult task of coming in there and just trying to right the ship. But he's gone far and beyond what he's been able to do this year. So JB Bickerstaff, whether he gets it or not, he has done a marvelous job. Okay, this is a monumental turnaround. What he's been able to achieve this year with this team, basically with the same team. And they've had some changes up top, but those are still Troy Weaver, who was the former GM of the team. Those are all of his players: Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Asur Thompson,
Mm-hmm.
Beef Stew. Those are his players. He drafted
Mm-hmm.
and
Ivy,
Ivy, and Ivy's not there.
they're hurt.
So
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that we acknowledge how difficult that is. And to anyone who has had the opportunity to coach or run a team, I mean, you take over a team that lost 28 games in a row, and then all of a sudden we're talking about, we're expecting this team with its core group of the same team that experienced that. That's unheard of. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so give I think JB Bickerstaff and what him and his staff has what they have done and give those players credit.
Yes.
Cade Cunningham now is playing clearly at an elite level. He's playing like a top 10 player. He's playing like a true superstar. And he is the reason, or one of the reasons, that they have made this monumental turnaround. So I think it has to be JB. I mean, when you watch them, they're playing with energy. They had a great win the other night versus the Miami Heat on the road, and they're just plugging away. And I agree with Scott. I think it's realistic to whoever they face in the first round
Right. Yeah.
that they can win. They have nothing to
Mhm.
lose. I mean, so I like where this team is trending. Do I dare say, Scott, it's early to say it, but this team has a chance. I mean,
That's crazy.
they have a chance. I mean, that's even
Yeah.
crazy for me. And I'm looking. You guys know we're rooting. We're from
Mhm.
Detroit. We're rooting for our home team. But the Detroit Pistons, I mean, wow, you
Yeah.
have to take your hat
Yeah.
off. You have to salute them. I mean,
Mo,
this has been amazing.
Mo, you know how hard it is within a 12-month period to change a mindset in the locker room where 12 months ago you were expecting to lose. You hear me?
Hmm.
Now, this team you see come out on the floor expects to win.
Hmm.
That is a real serious change that we're witnessing each time this team steps on the floor. When I watch this Pistons team now, you forget about what happened last year now because these guys look like, oh, this is us. We belong here. This is what we can do.
Hmm.
And and I'm sure this was always in Troy Weaver's mind when he was assembling this talent that this is what these guys could eventually become. Uh, just so happens that JB Bickerstaff as the coach was the right steward to help lead these guys in this direction. He and his staff, because and a head coach will tell you it's never all just about him. Um, it's about your staff too. So he give credit to the staff there because they're they're guys, they're constantly working with these players, especially these younger group, in terms of development, not only skill development, but the mental development, watching film with these guys, helping them see and learn situations better. And so really been impressed with what I see. I don't think any of us could have predicted this big a turnaround. Yeah, I expected
I don't think even
that
the
they were going to be
Pistons
better
predicted
this
this
year.
big a turnaround.
Yeah, no, no, quite. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if anybody told you that, um, but what we're watching, look, they're just a game out of the fifth spot from Milwaukee.
Mm.
They could end up being the fifth seed, not just the sixth seed. So uh, I can't recall a change this big since I've been following the NBA, even well before I got into the NBA, where a team had the worst record like that. Now we're talking about, 12 months later, we're talking about this team having a chance. Uh, Not only they're going to be in the playoffs, but have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Truly remarkable story.